Hey, I'm Aaron Keylock, and you're watching The Hard Rock Show.
Hi there, Aaron. Thanks for joining us. As we do this, you're very close to releasing your debut album, Against the Grain. How excited are you to be getting this out there now?
Yeah, I mean, it feels funny because I had the songs for quite a long time. I guess building up to the recording and then the recording and everything changing. So it kind of, I haven't had anything out there, so it's kind of a whole new experience to my career. And I mean, it's just exciting to be able to get your songs out there and people to be able to hear it. And really, I guess they kind of understand what you do a whole lot more and what you're trying to say and who you are, I guess. So.
What made you go with the title Against the Grain?
That's a song on the album, and it made sense really just to be the title. I was thinking of what to use and where to go with it, and in the end, that was kind of the common thread of each message of the song on there, and what I was trying to say, and just basically like where I was in my life at that point, and just basically doing things my own way and going against the grain of, I guess, the normal way of life with it.
If I'm correct, you're only 18 at the moment. You've been gigging since 11 or 12, writing since about 13. You've had some of these songs that are on the album with you for a while, but how do you feel having all this work parceled up, ready to go?
That was one of the things I thought was quite cool on the album. It showed the whole growth and passage of me as an artist throughout the whole thing. You have songs like Just One Question, which I wrote when I was 13, and then newer stuff like No Matter What the Cost, which was done a couple of months before the recording. So it kind of really shows the growth of who I am and where I've come from and everything, which is what I liked. And to have songs that have been on the road such a long time with you as well and been on stage with you every night, to be able to then present that to people as well in a whole new thing, which people have heard and known from gigs, it's a cool thing. So it's exciting to see what people think to it as well.
You spent about a month in LA with Fabrizio Grossi recording this album. What was that experience like for you?
Again, it was completely different. I'd never done it before. I'd only done like self-finance, like small EP things, just live in a room or whatever. So to go in there and actually make a record like that with a producer and everything was great. And he was really cool from when I first met him on Skype to pre-production and everything. We all got on really well from the start. And it's funny, it kind of changed the view on the whole recording thing. Really, I mean... And the whole way you go about recording, I guess, kind of changed, which is good. And yeah, I mean, I just learned a lot from doing it. And, it's like one of those things that it's good to keep me moving forward and learning new things. So, what
was the biggest thing you learned being in the studio cutting this album?
I think just the outlook of how to make a record. Before I went out there, it's kind of like this big thing, like a big piece of art that everything all has to fit together, and it's like this big album. But coming away is basically just finding the best songs you have at that time and recording them and the way you want to present them and releasing them. And it was kind of funny that you go in there and you come out with it, something you're really happy with, and it was that easy of a process to do because it was just really relaxed and easy and come out thinking like that. So
you did some co-writing with Paul Barry. What was that like for you, and what was the biggest thing you took away from that experience?
Again, that was like a completely different experience. All the writing I'd done was kind of on my own, and I kind of got introduced to him, and it was a thing, and we basically just sat down and went through different ideas, and song came together, which I then developed again on my own when I went away and changed things around again. And it's like you get to a stage with songwriting where you kind of hit a wall and you get to certain things where you want to move on, and there was a couple of songs on there which represent that to me, and one was the All the Right Moves, and Down as well was another song that kind of changed that for me. So
you're releasing this through Mascot Label Group. What made you decide to sign with them, and how does it feel to have their support?
Well, my management were talking to them for quite a while, I believe, before I signed, and when the name kind of came up, it was one of those names that you always look up to and respect and everything through the people they've worked with, and also the reputation they have through artists you hear. And they've got people on their roster that you obviously really look up to and love. So it's kind of one of those labels that is kind of the sort of label that you dream to be on, I guess, really, for this kind of music and doing it your own way and kind of doing it a bit more old school, I guess. So.
You're getting a lot of praise about your album, your songs, and your ability as a guitarist. How does all this buzz feel, and how do you keep everything in balance personally?
It's cool to be able to see that, the reviews and everything, of people come forward and say that they like what you do, but it's kind of like from the start you have loads of people's different opinions from the age of 11 through to now, and the only person's opinion that's mattered has always just been mine, if I've been happy with it. And I've never really worried too much about anybody else's, and when you're so close to something and you care about something this much, you kind of always look for the next thing and the next step and how you make a better album next time anyway. So it's not really that kind of thing. It's cool that people kind of dig what you've done and what you've made and you put it out there, but it's not, it's never in my mind about good reviews or whatever else, because it's just an opinion. I mean, if you make albums for other people, it's not for you, so.
On this journey with you is Sonny Greaves on drums, who you've known since you were 13, and Jordan Maycock on bass, who's been in the band since 17. How important are they to have with you, and what's life like on the road together?
It's funny, I was doing shows before Sonny came, and I was changing drummers all the time. When Sonny came, I was changing bands around with different drummers as well. And when you have the people that kind of fit with you and speak the same language, I guess, it works better and it presents the songs better and it has a better energy. And to have the people up there that understand what you do, and you're the same kind of people that understand each other as musicians and as people, that's kind of where the best music comes from, when you're playing together. So that's kind of the whole thing. And plus, when you live together with people and everything, I guess, you're the same kind of people, so.
These days, it seems that a lot of the younger artists are using talent shows and the like in an attempt to propel their careers forward, while you appear to have deliberately avoided that path completely. You've already done hundreds of shows, been writing since you were young. You like the old school approach, it seems, of being on the road and honing your craft there. Was that a deliberate approach from you, and how important is that to you overall?
Not really deliberate. I guess I got into music before I'd ever been to a show, so I didn't understand that bit. I got into music before I was too young to understand the whole sex, drugs and rock and roll thing. So to me, the only thing that interested me in music was the sound and just the records, I guess, and the love of playing. So that's always all it's meant to me. I've never really wanted to get into fame or to get into any of that. It's just always been the love of playing. So that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to get up on stage and make records and tour. I didn't really care, how many people went or how many people bought it. It was more just doing it my way and playing what I want to play, I guess.
Each of your songs has a different story, not only lyrically, but also in the guitar style or inspiration that you play with on them. How important is it to you to utilise different playing techniques or styles in your writing, and what motivates you to always try something a little different? And how important is it to have something to say with your songs?
Well, I think it comes naturally just because listening to loads of different types of music. I've always just loved anything that's honest and real. And I mean, I listen to anything from like Leon Russell to B.B. King to Black Sabbath to whatever. And so it's a pretty broad spectrum of what I listen to and love. So I think that kind of whole blend just comes through in songwriting pretty naturally. And again, with having something to say, it's kind of everybody has different feelings and everybody, feels different and says things differently every day. So it's kind of really just being, just down to being honest with who you are, I guess. So.
You've got a long list of amazing highlights that you've collected so far. What stands out as the biggest highlight for you personally to date?
I mean, there's been, like I say, there's been loads along the way. I mean, to being able to play with people that you love and respect so much. Like, we've played with people like Blackberry Smoke and everything, which I've loved from a young age anyway. And then you have to being able to play on big festivals that you've always wanted to be on, and being put in magazines that you bought when you were a kid, and being on the labels that you were in. But I mean, things like, I guess the main things that stand out are like making your first record, because you're saying what you want to say and you're getting to present your thoughts. And I guess just being able to tour with people you love, I guess.
What do you hope listeners and fans get out of your debut album?
I guess just understand who I am and what I'm trying to say with it. I think each one of the songs kind of presents who I am as a person and what I'm trying to say and where I've come from. So and that's kind of what it's been. I've always wanted it to be an honest record. So I guess basically just understanding who I am, and I'm, if they like the songs, and they like the songs, but.
What's coming up for you over the next 12 to 18 months, and are there any plans to get to Australia in the future?
We got the album release at the end of this month, and then we're going to be hoping to do some tours throughout this first bit of the year and some festivals, but nothing's confirmed yet, so I don't know. But in Australia, we'd love to come over. It's one of those places you always want to go and play and see and everything, so hopefully things will start coming through for that as well.
Many thanks for taking the time to do this. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Good luck with everything in the future, and we hope the album is a great success for you.
Thank you.